What's up, everybody? Welcome to Golf Cart Garage. My name is Tim. Already got people coming in the room, I see. Craig says, don't hang up on us today. I couldn't help it, man. I don't know what happened. Well, actually, I do know what happened. There was a big outage in my area for the cable. Someone had accidentally cut the cable somewhere down the road and caused a big outage. But they got it worked out, so we should be good today. Hopefully we'll be good. Yep, I'm here, Ricky. I'm here. In case anybody doesn't know what happened, the internet went out on me, glitched, and dropped YouTube, then came back on. I didn't lose Facebook. So some of you don't know, if you didn't go over to Facebook, you don't know who the hat winner was, because we went ahead and had the contest because I still had everybody's name. I still had everybody's name over on Facebook. I had everybody from YouTube's name, everybody that had commented up to that point. So we still went ahead and ran the contest, and Gene Hansen was the winner of the hat. And he's already received his hat. There he says, thank you for the hat. He said it wasn't in the best of condition when it arrived. It had gotten messed up in the mail, so we're gonna possibly change our shipping process on that. So thank you again, Gene, for pointing that out to me. And I've already passed it on to the guys in the warehouse. They're gonna make some adjustments so that doesn't happen again. Everyone is here and ready. Kurt, what's up, Kurt? Larry Consley, hey Tim, what's up, Larry? Thank you everybody for coming. Let's see, oh, Thomas Watson on Facebook. Hey Thomas, how are you, sir? First timer on Facebook. Using a 2016 RXV motor working a 2010 using a Navitas TAC2. As far as I know it will, Thomas. I don't see why it wouldn't. I don't think there's a difference between 10s and 16 motors, as long as it's the stock motor, and then you put the Navitas in there. I don't see why it wouldn't, unless there's something I don't know about a change in those motors. You might, you know who would know if you're dealing with Navitas on that, on your controller. They would know the answer to that for sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know of a change, but there could be. You might have to do a little research and make sure that I'm correct there, because I don't want you to mess anything up. If anybody knows that answer to that, please feel free to share. Alfonso, have I spoken with you before, Alfonso? I recognize your name, I think. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the garage, man. We're going to talk about some golf carts here today. Believe it or not, that's what we do. That is what we do. Okay, I have spoken to you before. I thought I recognized your name. Okay, this is social media time right now. So there is the social media links so that you can follow us on other platforms. If you want to follow us on YouTube and Facebook, obviously do. Like and subscribe, that helps. But if you want to follow us everywhere else, you can follow us on the other social media platforms. This is Tuesday, August the 1st. Can you believe it's August already? It is August the 1st. Oh, and we're under, right now, where I'm at, we are under what is the weather.com put out a bulletin. We're under an excessive heat warning. I don't even know if I've ever seen that before. An excessive heat warning. Kind of like a tornado watch and a tornado warning. An excessive heat warning means it's here right now. I mean, it's outside right now. Yep, Gene is the third winner of the hat. And we'll do it again. We will do it again, guys. I promise you, we will do it again. Hopefully my internet won't go crazy on me when we do it again. Okay, question number 1 for today. Regular question, and I'm sure we'll get some more in the live. 36-volt club car was not always going when I hit the accelerator, both forward and reverse. Now it doesn't go at all. What could be causing this? A 36-volt club car, you could have a couple of different electrical systems on a 36-volt club car. All of the electrical systems are going to have a accelerator pedal micro switch somewhere. If you've got a V-Glide, a wiper board, Most likely you have a V-Glide and a 36-volt club car. So you're going to have an accelerator pedal micro switch that could be causing your solenoid not to click. That would be what I would need to know. Does your solenoid click every time? I would need to know that, and a little bit more about what year we're talking about, whether it's a controller cart or a resistor cart. I would need to know some of that. Let's see, Alfonso says he has a club car precedent and the lights no longer turn on. What do you think I can check? Well, are your lights, are they running on your precedent? Are they running off of a voltage reducer? Because there's a couple of ways you could do it on a precedent. That your lights would either have to be running from a voltage reducer that is reducing your battery pack voltage down to a usable 12 volts. Okay, so they're running off a voltage reducer. All right, well, most of the time, a voltage reducer is going to have a fuse somewhere, so you might ought to check that. That's where I would be looking first. David Transmedia, Quan. What's up, Quan? Greg, congratulations, Mr. Hanson. I missed last episode due to preparing for back surgery tomorrow. Tried to text in the last, but web went down. Maybe get lucky next drawing. Yep. Yeah. Everybody get lucky eventually. One battery seemed all cells were lower than the rest. Is that normal, or should only one cell be low? No, it's not really normal. Usually they should drop fairly consistently, you know, your water levels. But just keep an eye on that battery, the voltage on that battery, and see what it's doing when you charge too. Like that 12-volt battery should get up to during the charge cycle toward the end, it might be up to 15 volts. So that, you know, check that out while your charger's running. Make sure that battery and all the rest of them are relatively close in the charging cycle. You know, to balance wise, I mean. Okay, on Facebook, Jathan Maricelli. What's up, Jathan? 2000 EZGO DCS 36 volt, brand new batteries. Cart drives about 2 miles and falls on its face, getting very weak and will not go even the slightest incline. The lights also die when the accelerator is pressed. When I release the accelerator pedal, the lights come back on. What I've done so far, I noticed the cable from the solenoid to the pack was getting hot, so I had a new one made. I'm getting the same problem with the power dropping out. Okay, are we talking about a DCS car with a stock controller, Jathan? I don't remember. I know I've spoken to you before, but I can't remember if this is a stock controller we're talking about. Because a DCS controller is a very, very weak controller. That's the most common rebuilt controller I had in my shop, was an EZGO DCS controller. That's the one that got rebuilt the most. I'll come back over to Facebook and check on your answer here in a minute. Okay, so it is stock. All right, well, if the falling flat on its face, if it is not the batteries, then I can assure you it's that controller that's falling flat on its face that's causing that. Now, it's, now wait a minute, you've got a DCS, I don't remember this part, you've got a DCS with a stock controller and 23-inch tires. Okay, that's not a real good combination. You're gonna eventually have to change that controller. And it may be time now, is what I'm saying. Because it's not gonna like that at all. Okay, Bruce, what's up, Bruce? Wisdom for the ages, everybody gets lucky eventually. Yep. Great. All right. Number 2. Guess I need to move that closer. When I charge my EZGO 2008 RXV, my charger will not shut off. The issue has been occurring for close to a year. I have tried multiple chargers, all behave the same way. Is there a voltage regulator part that tells chargers to shut off? No, not on your cart. No, but most likely is you've got a battery that's acting up that you're not aware of, because a battery can cause that. See, that charger, as long as it senses things are changing, it's not going to shut off. So you got a battery that's not getting fully topped off, and the voltage is going up and down or something. So what you need to do is put it on charge, and when you think it's time for it to shut off, start taking readings on all your batteries and see if you find one that's moving around, like voltage is moving around. That would be the reason it wouldn't be shutting off, or it could be. Tim's handsome face to help grow the Gearhead channel. Hey, that's a good thought. Robert Wilson, EZGO TXT takes for ages to pick up speed when on a hill. Okay, this is a gas car. Compression is 150 valve set. Only thing I can think is a new carburetor, which is a cheap Chinese one fitted. That could be it, Rab. Are your clutches working correctly? Because those clutches have a lot to do with it climbing a hill, right? I mean, does the car rev up fine? It's just when it hits a hill. I'd want to see those clutches working right. Like, is your front one squeezing in, the belt riding all the way to the top, and is your rear one squeezing out and the belt rides all the way to the bottom? I mean, that if that's happening, that would be normal. Different cart than before. Oh, Jason says it's a different cart than before. Okay, because I figured I would remember that, because if you called me up and said that you had a DCS cart with a stock controller and 23-inch tires, I would have immediately, red flags go off in my head all over the place. So if I get a new controller for the 2000 EZGO DCS with 23-inch tires, I need to upgrade from stock. Yes. Get a completely different controller. And in fact, if that car's running stock motor, I would change the controller to as big a one as you can afford, and change the motor to a torque motor for a DCS, a torque setup. That's what I would do. And that would take, if you did that, you took everything out of the cart that was DCS. Because DCS actually stands for Drive Control System, and that is the combination of the stock controller and the stock motor. Those two things make it DCS. The same way in a PDS car, the Precision Drive System, the stock motor and the stock controller is PDS. So when you change those, you took all the PDS out of the deal, and it's just a separately excited car at that point. George Brimmer in Facebook finally made to the chat. Welcome, George. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for stopping by. Where am I at on questions? I am on number 3 of the regular questions. Yamaha G16 replaced my starter generator, voltage regulator, and both belts. The cart now starts to move and will jerk before the engine starts. Your thoughts, please, thanks. Well, I would be looking at this is what I would do in your case. I'd change the belt back. Like, I put your old belt back on and see if the problem goes away. I'm talking about your drive belt. Because the difference between an old worn belt and a new belt can cause something like that. Because a new belt can be wider a little bit, and what that does is that takes up the space on the drive clutch a little closer, so the clutch hits it sooner than it did on your old belt. And our later could be skinnier, but generally it's going to be wider, because the old ones, I'm assuming the old belt is worn, so a new one should be a little bit wider. So that could be where your jerk is coming from. But just to eliminate it, or eliminate everything else and figure out if that's it, put your old belt back on just for a test and see if that changes it. Okay. Stop. Let's see, clutches are Quan says clutches are very important. Like Plowman's from stock to his makes a big difference out of a gas engine. So can imagine bad old clutches. Yeah, Plowman's is good. I give them a plug every now and then because I know that they're good. I've used their products. Craig says, I'd love to put a torque motor in my RX-V. Darn electric brake, yeah. Randy Rizzo, hey Randy. Thank you for stopping by the garage, Randy. number 4. That's where we're at. I've had many issues, and I came across your YouTube. I've had an issue where my club car precedent accelerates super fast, but when it slows down and goes to like 6 after 3 seconds. I've changed the speed sensor to a brand new one from the dealership. Did nothing. So I'm kind of lost. Any help would be appreciated. Thank you. Well, if you're confident, you know, that this, now I've talked to a lot of people that have gotten these really, really inexpensive speed sensors off of Amazon and eBay, and I've heard some horror stories. So that would be my first question. Is it one of those? Was it a $20 speed sensor? Would be my question. That'd be my first question. And if it's not, if it's a good speed sensor and you're confident, it might be time to get your fault codes read. I mean, that'd be the best way to do it. Have Club Car plug their computer in 5 minutes. They can see what your fault codes are, and at least go in the right direction, because you have a precedent electric. Yep, they could read your fault codes on precedent electric. Michael Reynolds, hey Michael, how's it going? Good to see you too, man. Tim, do you know much about lowering a golf cart? I have never done it, but I have talked to some people that have. I've seen some really cool ones. I can't remember how the most common way was. It's sort of like in the front, the most common way, you know how, if you've seen, I don't know if everybody's seen drop axle lifts. You know, you got spindle lift kits, and then you got drop axle lift kits. Well, to lower the front is actually the opposite of a drop. I'm only talking about an EZGO right now. I think that's the main ones I've seen lowered, were EZGO TXTs. It's the opposite of a drop axle. They kind of take a drop axle and cut the spindle mounts off, turn it upside down, and weld them back on, and that'll lower the front. Now on the rear, I don't know what you would do exactly. I'd have to look at it. You're definitely going to have to put your springs. You're going to put your springs on top of the axle in the rear, and that would lower it. But there's lots of different designs. Go to, if you're not familiar with it, Quan, go to 𝗪𝗂𝗁𝗀𝗆𝗀.com and click on the design section. There's a design part of that forum, and it's got all kinds of people that have done some really nice lowering jobs. Okay, Jathan says, regarding upgrading the motor and controller for my DCS, I have an extra Plumquick Bandit motor and Alltrax controller for EZGO series cart. Can I install these? No. Nope, cannot. It will not work. That's the only way that you would make that work, that you could make that work, is if you changed your whole wiring harness out to a series wiring harness, and then you're going to have to put in a mechanical forward and reverse switch. You know, that's the only way that you could make that work. Let's see, Charles Berardi. I think I got that right. Charles Berardi. I have a 2015 48-volt club car, and battery cables keep loosening on battery nuts, causing shorts on wires. Should I use Loctite on the nuts? You shouldn't be having a reoccurring issue like that, Charles. I don't know why that would be happening to you. I've never had to use Loctite. I've never had to use lock washers, even lock washers. Now, I don't forget about my battery cables though. Like every now and then, I will take a wrench and go in there and just check them, you know, and make sure. So that would be normal. But it's what it is that lead is kind of soft, so it should squeeze in there and should stay tight without any type of assistance from Loctite or a lock washer, as far as I'm concerned. I've never had to use that. Okay. Where am I at here? I'm on number 5 is where I'm at. 2006 EZGO, level ground, the accelerator in a steady position, Cart surges or slows down, then picks speed back up. It continues to do this up and down on speed. It accelerates and maintains in this, if the accelerator is maintained in the same position. I have installed a new carburetor, so we're talking about a gas cart, fuel filter, and spark plugs. Compression is 140 and 135. So we're talking about a twin cylinder EZGO 2006, and even with the throttle in a steady position, it goes up and down. Well, to me, that sounds like the governor's out of adjustment. It sounds like maybe somebody tried to adjust the governor and speed the car up, and now you have a little bit of erratic acceleration. That's what the governor's supposed to do. The governor, if you start to take off and in a gas golf cart, you'll feel the governor kick in. Like the cart wants to keep going, and all of a sudden, that governor comes in and pulls the throttle cable back. And sometimes that can feel a little bit erratic if something is out of adjustment. It's not as smooth a transition as it should be. Charles Berardi says, thanks. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for stopping by. We are here every Tuesday and Thursday, Charles. In case you're interested, you're welcome to come back. And you're welcome to hang around. Sometimes we give stuff away. Sometimes the internet goes out. Okay, number 6. Yamaha gas golf cart. After adding a phone charger to my golf cart, it won't start. And the backup buzzer is very weak. I had the wires backwards on the phone charger to start. You shouldn't, adding a phone charger, that shouldn't have done anything. That shouldn't have done anything. Sounds like maybe you killed your battery. That's what I'm thinking, especially since you said you had the wires on backwards at first. So maybe you killed your battery. You might just need to put a charge on that battery and see what if that makes a difference. Then after you get it going, crank your car and make sure it's charging. You know, make sure your battery is charging. Make sure the cart is charging your battery when the engine's running. You need to check that after you get it going. Number 7. I have a Club Car 97 DS. I used to have a 97 DS myself. It goes, then sputters, and lost speed and power. What parts do I need to replace? Well, you said sputter, so you're kind of making me think we're talking about a gas cart. You didn't actually tell me if it's electric or gas, but you used the word sputter, and most of the time when people use sputter, not shutter, sputter, they're talking about gas cars. This is just things I picked up over the years of talking to customers. So if we're talking about a gas cart and that happens, then I would ask, my first question would be, are you sure your battery's getting charged? Your battery, because what can happen with a voltage regulator, I've probably said this before, I've seen voltage regulators fail in a way where the cart will still crank. It'll crank up and run, but not only is it not charging the battery in the system, it's actually draining the battery in the system while the engine is running, and it just drains the 12-volt battery down until the 12-volt battery gets down so low that the cart can't create spark anymore, and then spark starts going away, and then the sputter and stuff happens, and backfire and all kinds of stuff, because it's actually losing spark. It will eventually lose spark and just be completely dead, but the battery will be dead too. So that would be where I would just get that cleared up first before we went in any other direction. Keith on Facebook. What's up, Keith? Sorry I'm late today. Don't worry about it, man. Let's see. Quan says on his gas golf cart, every time he gets back, he puts a battery tender just to make sure it's 100% next time and drive it. I also put a voltage meter to battery switch so when you start. Cool. I get it. Yeah, you got a bunch of stereos and stuff running off of your battery too. So yeah, I would do that. Craig says, are there different size voltage reducers? Have one for the light kit, but want to permanently add my sprayer. Yes, there are. The more items you're going to use on your voltage reducer, the bigger output your voltage reducer needs to be. Like there's real small ones that are really just designed for just lights alone, and they may even be just designed for LED lights, which would be a very weak draw. So you need to get a bigger one for sure for your sprayer. I don't know how to judge what size you would need to permanently add your sprayer, but I'd get the biggest one you could, you know, the biggest one you could afford for a golf cart. Like you'd want one that it would say, use this voltage reducer if you're planning on running a big stereo or something, because that would be what I would think that sprayer would be like running a bigger stereo. I was working on 1965 Fender Deluxe Reverb amplifier. Very cool piece. Cool. You work on guitar amplifiers, Keith? I have a cousin that did that. See if your generator's working. See if your generator's working. Oh, okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. So you can just look at your voltage right up as soon as you crank it, so you can put the switch on, and you can make sure that your battery's getting charged. I have subscribed. Thank you, Charles. On my 2008 Yamaha 48-volt cart, I had surges, go, stop, removed armature from motor and was corroded. Used Scotch-Brite pad, put together and worked like a champ. Really? I don't know if I've ever heard that one before, Charles. 4 or 5 years before I used it. Well, that's cool. That is cool. That might be something I can suggest to people when they have exhausted MCORs and all other, you know, stuff. They can but if it was like that, it kind of makes me want to ask questions. Is it possible that that motor had gone underwater at one point? That's cool, Keith. I play the guitar. I sold all my electric stuff. I have a couple of acoustics, but I sold all my electric stuff a few years ago. Yes, Golf Cart Garage does sell voltage reducers, Craig. We do sell voltage reducers. And you might know a coupon code. If you think real hard, you might know of a coupon code you could use to see if the battery's charging and what the voltage is at. Yep, that's exactly right, Quan. I could send pics. Go ahead and do that, Charles. You can send pics directly to me, or you can send them to Golf Cart Garage. On the Golf Cart Garage homepage, there is a link that says support at Golf Cart Garage. You can send pics to there. Pay attention, Tim, and I'll get them. Or you can send them directly to me at 00timfreeman.com. That's 00timfreeman, FREEMAN.com. Okay. I almost said let's see just then, y'all. Big Mike. Hey, Big Mike. Better late than never. Hope everything's good with you, Big Mike. Thank you for stopping by. Number 8 is where we're at on regular questions. So we're moving right along here. 2007 EZGO electric cart, and I'm having issues with it. When I press the accelerator, there is a growling noise coming from under the seat, and it won't go forward. After a few seconds, it starts moving, and then a quick burst of acceleration. It does the same in reverse. Okay. I'll tell you about a symptom that I've heard people describe in a lot of different ways. You know, like I said, I have to pick up people's descriptions over the years when they're describing what their golf cart is doing, because everybody describes something different. Not everybody describes it like I would. So sometimes I have to figure out and decode people's description and say, well, how would I word that? And I would probably word it in a completely different way. But I've had to do that over the years many times. So an electric golf cart, it's a direct drive motor. Okay, there's a direct drive motor, so there's no slack, no spinning should ever happen without the golf cart moving. Okay, so if you can hear something grinding when you start to move, when you push the pedal and the golf cart's not moving, then something is spinning making that noise, and it shouldn't be. So you got something broke. Well, the most likely candidate for that to be on an EZGO would be you possibly spun a hub, is what they call it. Like the brake hubs on an EZGO TXT are splined, and they fit onto the axle, and the axle is splined. Well, a lot of times the hub is made out of a weaker material than the axle is. Well, not a lot of times, all the time. The axle is a stronger material, so this hub is designed to brake before the axle. So the axle will spin inside the hub. So look at your wheel. If you have hubcaps or something on there that's blocking the view, take the hubcap off and get to your axle nut. You got to see your axle nut. See if your axle nut is spinning, and that's what's making that grinding noise. If it is, you got to replace that hub. Let's see. Big Mike. Oh, okay, you just had a second baby. Okay, so Blakely has got a sibling now, right? Family blessings for you. That's from Golf Cart Garage. Says congratulations. Yeah, congratulations from all of us, Big Mike. Tell the new baby hello. Tell Blakely hello. From all of us here at Golf Cart Garage. Number 9. 2007 electric cart. I was driving in loose gravel by river. Did fine and then acted like it was dead till we pushed it onto more solid ground. Did fine before the gravel. The batteries are charged and water level's good. When got on more solid ground, speed was good. The gravel was very loose, but it had done fine before it. It is lifted and has Trojans in it. Well, I can tell you this. Loose gravel will put a strain. It'll put a strain on your electrical system. You'd have to have a pretty tight, torquey electrical system. Like if your cart is lifted with taller tires, that doesn't equal torque. You know, only if you've compensated for that with a torque motor or a big controller would that equal a torque setup. It's because as soon as you put the taller tires, it actually made it more of a speed setup. It actually increased speed, not torque. You actually lost some torque. So loose gravel would be real tough on an electric cart. So it's very likely that you might be overtaxing your controller, and that could be what made it go dead, that it kind of heated up on you, or a cable heated up on you even. You might have a cable that got too hot and lost, it wasn't passing current anymore. So I would be suspicious of a controller issue there that got hot on you just from that loose gravel putting too much of a strain. Michael Reynolds. Has anyone ever heard of a golf cart manufacturer called Volt? I have one, a lithium 48. With that, I think might be a regenerative braking problem. I set an appointment for you for Monday. Appointment with you for Monday. For this coming Monday? Like, for this coming Monday, Michael? This, next Monday, I mean? Because I thought I talked to somebody about this problem. Maybe I just read it in the notes. Big Mike says, wife was shocked you knew Blakely's name. I told her we're all friends here. She laughed at me. Well, it's true. I remember Blakely's name because I said that's a cool name for a girl, Blakely. I mean, I like that name. That's why I remember it. I have been told I have a good memory too. I don't know if it's true or not. Yes, the 7th. I mentioned it last week too. Oh, okay. Okay, well maybe that's where I'm remembering, Michael, that I spoke about that already. So you have what I think might be a regenerative braking problems. I set an appointment with you. Now, did you get this Volt from a dealer? Is there a dealer, authorized Volt dealer in your area or something? Because I'd be giving them a call and asking them, is the regenerative braking adjustable on your car? It's very likely that it is, especially since it's a lithium cart. I mean, that's some high-tech stuff right there. So if it's that high-tech, I would think that it would have a programmable controller. see, number 10, last regularly scheduled question. I have a 96 EZGO DCS cart with a Navitas controller and a 400 amp solenoid. Navitas controller and a 400 amp solenoid. Now see, Jathan, that's what you need to do. You need a Navitas controller and a 400 amp solenoid in your DCS cart, and then you'll be good to go. And then maybe a torque motor. The solenoid is getting extremely hot on the B+ wire from the controller to the solenoid. Any help would be appreciated. Things like that, I always like to take it just one step at a time. I don't like to change a whole lot of stuff and then get on the cart, because I never know I might be confused about which one of the things I did to fix it. So the first thing I would do, I just change that one wire. It's a short wire from B+ to the solenoid. So change that wire to a different wire and see if it still happens. You know, because it could just be a corrosion inside the wire. Could be one of the connections is not cool on the end of the wire. It might look all right, but it might not be as tight as it seems to be. Okay, Charles, did you say attention Tim on your pictures? If you did, I'll get them. I'll get them if you put attention Tim on there. Let me run these social media links one more time. Obviously, I'd like for you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Obviously, I'd like for you to subscribe, comment, like, and subscribe. That would be awesome. But you can follow us elsewhere. I'm running those links again right there. And y'all ready for this? Bam! Let's see some carts. Today's featured cart is none other than Dave. You know who I'm talking about? I'm talking about Dave at Golf Cart Garage, the guy that does the other videos. You know, Dave at Golf Cart Garage with the hat and the beard, that guy. This is one of the ones he did in his own, in our warehouse, Golf Cart Garage warehouse. There is a link in the description that will take you to the entire process that this cart went through. This was a Yamaha G29. It used to look like that on the left, and now it looks like that on the right. So there is a link in the description down below that will take you to the whole deal, take you to the video where he did everything to it, talks about all the different parts that are on it, and all the parts that that are on it we sell at Golf Cart Garage. So if you're interested in that on a G29, you can go check that out. That's Dave typing from Golf Cart Garage. He missed that G29 so bad it made shipping from the warehouse so much easier. Yeah, I bet it did. Bet it did. Well, that's what Dave does in his spare time over there, if you want to call that spare time. Nick worked harder on it than Dave did. I'm sure everybody's familiar with Dave and Nick. Nick also works in the warehouse. Yep, that did go from it went from a pile, didn't it? It started out like that. Sweet jumps. Okay. Let me run this coupon here for Craig, in case he forgets. This is the new coupon. The other one expired. Get 5% off any parts you order at golfcartgarage.com if you use coupon code TIM13, TIM13. This one expires on September the 1st. Get 5% off anything you order at Golf Cart Garage. Use TIM13. If you are interested in purchasing a hat, bam! There's some links also in the description that will take you straight to the hats, and you can buy one if you'd like. You don't have to wait to see if you're lucky enough to win one. We will give some more away, that's for sure. We will give some more away, but if you can't wait, click on the link in the description, pick up. They go straight to which color you want. So you can do that. Okay. Oh, also remember, Gary England. Thank you for stopping by, Gary. Also remember, if you think of any products that you would like to see us carry at Golf Cart Garage, please comment, put them in the description, or send an email to, just wherever how you can get in touch with us, just to let us know if there's something that we need to carry more of or something that we don't carry at all. Let us know. We'd like to hear it, because we can easily obtain it. We can easily become a dealer for them, for those products. Let me look over on Facebook, see what's going on. Looks like we're good there. Looks like we're good there. Sent a vid of roads I drive on. Will explain why my cables come loose also. Yeah, you need to cinch. That's one of the things, I probably should have said that as a tip when I used to do tips all the time. I can't stress the importance of the battery hold down system in golf carts. Okay, every golf cart's different, every kind, but they all have some type of battery hold down system. And inevitably, somebody is going to think that that's not really important. I don't need that. And they're just going to put those big heavy batteries in there and they're going to take off. Well, you got to understand, every one of those batteries has a wire connected to it, has a battery cable connected to it. So if you're driving down a gravel road or a bumpy road and that battery's moving around and that wire's connected to it, well, you know what happens when you take a wire and you move it around back and forth, too many times. You end up, the wire ends up breaking, or it ends up coming loose, or it ends up getting a loose connection. So that's why the battery hold down system in golf carts that comes from the factory is so important, because what it does is it stabilizes your battery, so even though you're riding around on a bumpy road or gravel road, the battery's not wiggling back and forth. You don't want your batteries to move. You want them to be perfectly still, because like I said, if your battery's moving, then it's wiggling that cable back and forth. Sent a video of them seat covers. Okay. I think that is going to be it. We did the Let's See on Dave's cart. We did the coupon. We did the social. The title of this episode was "I Have a Wire That's Getting Hot," and Iman made me a sweet thumbnail with a wire on fire. I don't know if you can see that yet or not, but it will show up after the video. But shout out to Iman for that sweet graphic, that sweet thumbnail. Okay, that's going to be about it. Let me check Facebook again. No, we're good there. We're good there. I thank you everybody for showing up today. Thank you for sending the stuff, Charles, sending the video. Thank you everybody in the chat. Looks like we must have our internet issue figured out. They had a cable cut last week and shut us down. Supposedly they got everything fixed, and it looks like they do. Looks like we're doing good. My connection is still showing good. Everything looks good. So I will see everybody on Thursday. Yep, see you Thursday, Quan. Thank you for showing up, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody. See you Thursday, Kurt. We'll see y'all later. The garage is now closed.